In this video, I will show you how to use the Islet service, which is a part of Destination Earth Data Lake, one of the crucial components of Destination Earth initiative. The Islet service is a cloud computing service based on OpenStack that provides users with infrastructure as a service (IaaS) solutions, allowing users to manage and deploy virtualized compute, network and storage resources on a scalable and flexible architecture. Virtual resources, for example virtual machines or object storage, can be managed by users using the Horizon GUI or CLI. In addition to virtual machines, Kubernetes can be used to deploy containerized workloads. Creating virtual machine via Horizon dashboard. To create a virtual machine, navigate to the Instances tab in the Horizon user interface. Click on the Launch Instance button to begin configuring your VM. Start by setting the instance name. Next, choose the operating system you want to use. Select a flavor that meets the minimum requirements for the chosen operating system image. Now, allocate the networks that will be used by the virtual machine. You can skip the network ports configuration. Ensure that you select the Allow Ping SSH RDP security group. By default, this group provides access to the necessary ports for these services. If you do not have a key pair, you can create a new one. Or import an existing public key. Keep in mind that if you do not select an SSH key, you will not be able to connect to the virtual machine via SSH or RDP. You can skip the remaining configuration tabs and proceed to launch the instance. The virtual machine will soon be created and will appear in our interface. Attaching floating IP to the virtual machine. Before attaching a floating IP to the virtual machine, you must allocate a public IP address to your project. To do this, navigate to the Network tab and go to Floating IPs. Click on Allocate IP to Project. No changes are needed in the displayed inputs, so simply click the Allocate IP button. Now that the public IP address has been allocated, return to the Instances tab. In the Action column, expand the list by clicking on the arrow button and select Associate Floating IP. Next, choose the allocated public IP from the IP address input field. The port to be associated should belong to the private network. Checking if virtual machine is reachable over Internet. Once floating IP is assigned to the machine, let's check if it responds to a basic reachability tests. I will now open my terminal and simply check it via ping. Establishing a connection via SSH. Let's connect to virtual machine via secure shell. I'm simply use SSH with additional parameter, I, which selects a file from which the identity for public key authentication is read. Next, we will provide username, which is eUser in Cloud Images, and after @sign, we provide our floating IP address. Type yes, and set a new password. And execute once again the previous SSH command. Creating a new private network. In this video, we will create a new private network. After setting up the network and subnet names, we need to enter the IP address of the private network. Pointing the cursor at the question mark will show examples of what should be entered. We have the option of choosing which version of IP address we want to use. The IP address of the gateway is entered below. In the allocation pool, we define the range of available addresses for hosts. Next, we create a new router that will enable us to communicate with the Internet. To do this, add an interface, select the previously created network and enter the gateway address of this network. Creating a new block storage volume. To create a new volume for our data, we go to the tab indicated. Create a volume, and define its size. Once created, assign it to our virtual machine. Establish an SSH connection. List the block devices. Start the process of creating a partition for the connected drive. Do not change the default values. Save the changes. Next, we create the file system for our partition. We create a folder under which to mount the partition. Open the FSTABE file with any text editor and add the following line. It is responsible for automatically mounting partitions to the specified location after a reboot of the virtual machine. Read and write operations on block storage volume. Let's create a 1 GB file at the partition mount location. As we can see, after the reboot of the virtual machine, our file is still available under the indicated path. How to get API OpenStack access? To be able to authorize to OpenStack project, we need to download the RC file. It is required to download the Python client and its packages. For this we will need to perform the following steps. Install the latest Python client. Install the package used to create Python virtual environments. If Python is not installed, the following command should download it as a dependency. Each Python virtual environment creates a folder that contains a file to activate it. Navigate to the directory where you want to have it. I will do this in my home directory. Create a new virtual environment named OpenStack_CLI as follows. Without leaving the folder, activate the environment. Before installing the OpenStack CLI client, update pip to the latest version using the command. Install the Python OpenStack client package containing the OpenStack CLI client. This should also install the OpenStack command, which allows you to interact with the OpenStack CLI client. The OpenStack CLI client has a built-in help option. You can use this option to check that the OpenStack command is working after installation. To view the help, run the following command. We will now be able to authenticate to our OpenStack project via the CLI. We run the downloaded RC file in Bash. We enter the password for our account. With the given command we can check if we have access to our project.